Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about a particular strategy that might work for a certain sector of people. Now, if you are investing into real estate, and as you know, if you are watching my YouTube channel, then you know that I regularly talk about commercial property. I bring a lot of different content, and in this particular video, we are going to talk about a strategy that might be implemented properly in your case. Without knowing you, I can tell you that this can be done. So let's walk through this strategy. Okay, what is that strategy? The strategy is that you will be collecting $350,000 worth of rent, and for that a 7% return is $5 million. So what does it mean? It means like if you know that you can get 7% net return, and the 7% net return with a $5 million property portfolio will give you $350,000 net return, like yearly, and that of course is going to go year on year basis, but that means that if you have a $5 million portfolio is giving you 7% net return, it can give you $350,000. And this is something that I teach also. What happens is that if that $5 million, 50% is your money and 50% is lender's money, so in other words 50% LVR, that means $2.5 million is your money, $2.5 million is lenders or the bank's money, and then with right now let's say interest rate is around 6%, then after paying the mortgage payment, interest only loan, which is $2.5 million, 6% is $150,000, then you will have roughly about $200,000 passive cash flow for the same $2.5 million. So what it means? It means that if you know, or if you right now have a $2.5 million worth of equity, then it is possible to get $200,000 passive cash flow from that $2.5 million equity. What do you mean, Somen? It means that you need to now understand how you can allocate this money and make it in a way that you get a 7% return. That being said, some of you might say that, Somen, but I have more than $2.5 million equity, but I'm not collecting nowhere near that $200,000 passive cash flow. The reason that you are not doing it because that your portfolio is heavily negatively geared. Perhaps you invested a lot into residential properties. So now what you need to think is that how I can change or how I can reinvest some of this money into commercial and get like $350,000 as part of the strategy. Now, who is this strategy going to work? This strategy is going to work for somebody. Let's say you started investing into residential, 2, 3, 4 residential properties you bought. You started in 2014, 2015, 2016, or even 2020, and those properties has gone up, but those equity is called lazy equity, is sitting around, is not doing anything. And this is how you need to look around and you need to find out how you can get high positive cash flow. Now remember, it's not going to happen in one day. It's not going to be like in just next 1 week I'm just going to get that $350,000 passive cash flow. It needs to have a careful planning and you need to do these things properly. So you need to strategize. There are a lot of things that we need to consider, but the number one thing that you need to consider is tapping the equity from a residential property and then buying a commercial property, which means that you get to keep the residential and also you get to buy commercial properties, like a double whammy, right? You just doing. So this strategy is only going to work for people who have like let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or sometimes 10 residential properties. For them, you can tap into it and then buy commercial. Second part of course with that is that commercial property generally it is bought under a special vehicle, so under a family trust or a company. So you would not buy property in your own name for commercial property, generally speaking. So in that case, your mortgages would be tied up with that entity. And if it is tied up with the entity, means you are personally not borrowing it, and there is a provision where you can have unlimited borrowing, so you can keep on borrowing more and more money. And this is one of the things that a lot of people do not understand. They're saying that, oh, when I buy 2 or 3 residential properties and then that's it, I maxed out my borrowings, no more borrowings means no more property purchase. When it comes to commercial property, it's exactly opposite. Like the more you buy, the more you will be able to borrow, and there is no such limit. If you can stag it, if you can stage it effectively. Now this is something classic because all of a sudden you can see there are so many opportunities that you can come, and if you have equity you can tap into and you can borrow more money, and you would be able to like get this $350,000 passive cash flow within, let's say, 1, 2, 3 or within 5 years, depends on your circumstances. So the strategy that I want you to think, and the strategy that I want you to talk about in your mind, that how can I get $350,000 in a year with my portfolio? And if you keep on asking these questions to yourself, you will find out that, oh, okay, now this is the way I can do. And if you do not know, and this is how your mentoring is going to help, your mentor is going to help you to understand, to uncover all these things. And we regularly help people on this front. We get clients where we say that, hey Soman, I have 6 other properties but all are negative, so literally I'm losing money and I am getting, like, from my job, from my other business income, I have to feed these 6 properties. Tell me, what can I do? And we have done this like within a span of 6 months, 1 year time. We help people from that negative cash flow to all of a sudden positive cash flow, and then 3 years time you will see that becoming more and more positive. So this is only possible if you know what commercial property you have to buy, where you can buy, and how you can uplift this commercial property, and pretty much getting a $350,000 net rent. And if this is your goal on this wonderful pool, which is like have a business income, have 2 or 3 or 4 residential properties which is losing money, and then you can tap into those equity, those properties has gone up, let's say last 3, 4, 5 years, tapping those equity, buy commercials, you're pretty much adding more assets, because let's say you have 3 or 4 residential properties, then you would be able to buy more commercial properties and get that kind of a passive cash flow. I hope you find this video helpful, and if you are in this category, can give you some sort of thought provoking things like, okay, how can I do this? How can I buy my next commercial property? And if you do not know, and if you have any other questions, by all means put in the comment section, so that we bring this new content and give this our experience, how we are purchasing properties, how we are helping our clients to buy commercial properties. Just like they are getting the better cash flow, you can get it too. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.